You want to know how to become more efficient and have more time? Then use this awesome principle. I took it upon myself to leave my circle of comfort and look for methods which could help me do my work more efficiently, so I can read novels while sitting on the ceramic throne. While browsing the internet, I found this awesome habit, rule, whatever you want to call it, that successful people use, and it's called the Pareto principle or the 80-20 rule. The method comes from Vilfredo Pareto in 1906, an Italian economist who noticed that 80% of his harvest came from just 20% of his pea plants. Then later on, he also observed that 80% of Italy's land is owned by just 20% of the population. Oh my god. This principle can also be found in tons of other places. In general, 80% of the revenue comes from just 20% of the customers. Maybe you wear 20% of your clothes just 80% of the time. 80% of the time you use only 20% of the programs on your computer. I bet you only use 20% of the positions, 80% of the time. Maybe 80% of your anger is caused by 20% of the people. Go on YouTube and watch as someone draws a superhero in 25 minutes. Then they do the same in 5 minutes and then one only in a few seconds. Within 5 minutes I can already see 80% of Superman. So here are some stories to show you the application of the method. Story number 1. Jim made a website to attract customers. He used different social media platforms like Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Google+. Yeah, in that era there was something like that. Yeah, and back in the day you could not share the same message through all the platform, only manually. So after analyzing the data, he sees that 80% of his customers come from only one platform. In the end, he decides to focus all his time and energy on that single platform and thus increasing profits substantially. Story number 2. Barbara has a non-profit organization. 80% of the money from donations comes from 20% of the people who donated. Knowing this, she focused her energy more on those 20%. She sent them personalized invitation letters to the event and thanks for the previous years. In the end, the donated amount was increased considerably. Story number 3. At another company, the boss noticed that 80% of the complaints were coming from 20% of the clients, who weren't even part of the majority that brought in his profits. He then decided to discard them and thus made sure he doesn't have to take a fistful of medication for his nerves and now enjoys more free time. People who learn for exams can also use this method to focus on the core things their teachers talk about and just ignore the small stuff. And lots of times it pays off, so after that you have more energy to focus on other stuff. Oh yeah. If most of your happiness comes from just 20% of your friends, then you will be better off by spending more time with them. Okay, so now you probably tell me, hey Danny, how should I reduce the time with the other friends? Well, you can come up with a smart excuse, like, oh, I need to cut the alfalfa so I can feed the sharks in my swimming pool, or some other ingenious answer. In short, the Pareto principle tells us that with 20% of the effort, you can already reach 80% of the results. For the 20% of you who will care to use this method, I salute you in your journey, enjoying the spare time this principle will free up for you. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to subscribe. If you liked it, smash that like button. If you disliked it, just touch the dislike button. In any case, feedback is always appreciated. Until next time, my friends, be awesome.